folks, Saint Chad here, and we're back with more Monster Loves You. We left off last time just having reached the stage of adolescence. And the playthrough we're doing this time, we're playing as a more timid, weaker monster to see what kind of ending we get. So let's go ahead and proceed with our adolescence. Elder Marinus leads you, Blistry, and Virok into the forest. She points to a stand of purple berry bushes and says, "Eat your fill, little ones." Let's see. You exercise restraint, consuming berries until you're full and no more. Elder Marinus says, "It's alright, you can eat more if you want to." Virok gorges himself on berries, eating and eating until his skinny little body is plump and quivering. Blistry has stopped eating just like you. Marinus rolls Virok back into town, where the young monster is squeezed until all his slime has oozed out. The slime is purple and delicious. He's unconscious, but he seems to be no worse for the wear. Elder Hamrag makes pancakes for everyone, and the sticky purple stuff turns out to make a delicious syrup. Alright. You, Nash, and Gobclaws hide in a stand of prickly thorn bushes, watching human children run back to their bus. But what's that they left? Shiny, red, round things. It's a scooter. You all charge out of the bushes, only to trip over each other and land in a pig pile of feathers. Scales and fur. Now what? As she pushes her foot into your face, you realize Nash is the true owner of the scooter. You let her up and pin Gobclaws, who bites your ear in fury. You, Nash, and the scapegoat are having an impromptu picnic in the street. The fresh moss you dunk in your tea is delicious. Some birds, twittering and chirping in a friendly way, circle and land among the crumbs. The birds start pecking at the crumbs, but then they start hopping onto you and pecking at you. You have crumbs on you and they want them right now. My ferocity went down. They're annoying, but they're better than ants. Those things get into a monster's pelt and itch like mad. You see Jaggery in a haze of buzzy, angry yellow bees. It looks like he stole a beehive off a tree and took it home. You can see why. Honey is irresistible. Jaggery motions for you to help him. We'll go ahead and help out. Just standing there thinking about it, you get stung twice. The bees are getting angrier and angrier. Jaggery frowns and asks, "What do we do?" The bees become very angry. As you and Jaggery run away, you wonder if they're the wrong sorts of bees. You hear a bleeding sound from inside the scapegoat's pen. Of course it is. Bleeding is what goats do. The scapegoat walks out of its pit, looks around, and bleats again. Nash says, "It wants a fight. Let's give it one." The scapegoat stares at you as you approach it. It bleats again. Looking into the pit, you see that there is no food anywhere. Nash shoves you aside and says, "I said, let's give it a fight." You scrounge some edible greens from Hamrag's garden, then use them to lead the goat back into its pit. The goat is satisfied. Turns out the scapegoat can outfight any young monster, even Nash. She's off licking her wounds, and the goat hasn't got a scratch on it. Canelo Azlet limps towards you. He points one huge eye at you and cackles. "I got a shock. Working on a power line, and it's still down. Help me out." Canelo nods and limps away, looking for someone else to help him. See, that's my timid monster. A small crowd gathers in the square. Prudence and Gritmitten are in some kind of an argument. Nash whispers to you. Gritmitten says he saw a human wearing a coat made from a monster's hide. What? Prudence said she saw it too, but it was just a costume. You watch the elders discuss the situation calmly and quietly, with only a little clawing and spitting. Later on, you hear there was a huge fight, which Prudence barely won. Several younger monsters like you were seriously slashed up in the fight, even though they were just trying to get away. You sniff the air. Sniff, sniff. Could that be frosting? Blotz greets you and Nash Nash with a fluffy pink cake. Nash Nash says Blotz says he stole this from a human child. How do you three share it? Humans do a lot of things. Sometimes they talk all day, and sometimes they draw circles and cut them up with chalk. So odd, those humans. While you scratch out different percentages using dirt and a stick, Nash Nash and Blotz eat the cake, leaving you with nothing. Adolescence is fleeting. You have grown beyond youth and have become an adult. You've been dragged from your bed by your friends and neighbors. They tell you it's time to grow up. You're taken into the woods. The neighbors throw you into the center of a great circle of monsters, all older than you. They whisper to each other, then look at you, then whisper some more. The monsters murmur and mutter, spit and snarl. They're deciding what best defines you as a monster. After a while, the muttering stops, though the murmuring goes on for some time longer. Finally, the assembled monsters come to a decision. The ring of monsters shuffles closer to you, forming a tighter circle. Elders loom over you while the smaller adults crouch low. Your surroundings grow shadowy and dark. This is the end of your adolescence. Your body becomes tougher, and other grown-up monsters will be more likely to listen when you speak. The ring of monsters shuffles closer to you, forming a tighter circle. Elders loom over you while the smaller adults crouch low. Your surroundings grow shadowy and dark. You see concern in some of their faces, but very little respect. There's a little more chatter as they discuss your strengths and weaknesses. They decide you're clever. Someone gives you a tangled up ball of wires and little glass bulbs, a human artifact of some kind. Untangle it to prove you're smart. You squint and turn the ball this way and that. You find the worst part of the tangle and worry it free. It gets easier after that, and soon the whole ball is a series of clean loops. Alright, so I'm fairly clever, somewhat kind, honest, and not a lot of anything else. You're an adult now. You'll grow stronger over time, but your personality is no longer as mutable as it was when you were young. Okay. You hear a cry from a nearby hovel. Saswait, a new adolescent, doesn't understand how the windows in her hovel work. She's trapped her paws under a heavy pain. You walk over and take a look. This should be easy for a grown-up monster like you. Saswait seems afraid of you, but these things happen. She thanks you for releasing her from the window. You notice that a small crowd is gathered. The other monsters all nod. Some of them seem confused, but the elders in the group explain that what you said is the truth. Monsters heal fast. The spine doctor has asked you to catch a special fox. It limps, she says, and it coughs. I need it quickly, if at all. The spine doctor swats you with one prickly arm. There's no time for questions. Get the fox or don't. That means I have to go out into the forest. No. You refuse to help the doctor. She scowls and goes looking for another monster to do her bidding. You show your newest collection of human artifacts to your neighbors. They seem suitably impressed and listen in. The truth is, you just found them in the woods. But everyone seems so interested it would be a shame to let them down. Monsters do love a story, so you could stretch the truth. You tell how a talking fox, those nuisances are everywhere lately, tried to beat you in a riddle contest with the artifacts as the prize. I won the contest by biting his head off. Everyone seems to believe you. They nod in admiration. Alright. As a timid monster, I'm not really going to be wanting to explore the whale mist, so we'll do as much as we can in town. Gobclaws and you are arguing about what to have for lunch. Suddenly, your favorite food flies down from the sky and perches within arm's reach. The magpie chirps. Have either of you seen a cornfield around here? Your stomach growls. The next time you see Gobclaws, there are a few tiny feathers hanging out of her mouth. Gobclaws shows off a human doll she found in the last hunt. A crowd of elders and other monsters gathers around you, chattering excitedly. She asks if you think it might be good to show the doll to some of the monsterlings. Let them see a human-shaped thing without actually seeing a real human. You know, educational. Gobclaws clicks her free pincher nervously, waiting for your explanation. All the monsters ooh and ah'd at your explanation. Gobclaws sadly takes the doll to add to her private collection. You look over your garden. Most hovels have gardens. Many monsters don't care, but some like to show off their herbs, spices, and flowers. There are so many rocks there. Even if you don't feel like planting things, it looks bad. These rocks ought to go. Nah. Weeks pass and you find that other monsters have been dumping their rocks into your garden to get rid of them. Meh. All of Omen is abuzz. Elders glare angrily at everyone, then look back at the broken sign of the town gate. You look down at the little piece of the sign you're holding and blush. Coming back from a hunt, you were so full of high spirits that you jumped up and slapped the sign. You just slapped a little too hard with your claws. Blistery spots the bit of sign that you're holding. Hey, don't tell anyone you broke it. It'll get fixed. This will all blow over. It's just an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Bygones will be bygones. Blistery is often accused of thinking she knows everything. This includes human cliches. All of them. Blistery says, I can take care of this. Look, I took a bit of the sign too. I can slip some into Varrock's hair when he isn't looking. Nobody ever believes him, since he's always lying and stealing things. Nobody has any reason to blame you, so they don't. You and Blistery go to your hovel for tea as someone shouts, look what Varrock has, part of the sign. As you sip your tea, you hear Varrock protest. He stops and starts to cry, as other monsters begin to howl. Sounds like he's in a lot of pain. You close the window, blotting out Varrock's screams. Blistery comes to you, flapping her winglets and clenching her claws. Mupsy Moral is looking for me. I overslept. I missed the hairy hare hunt. Blistery suddenly leaps to the top of a garbage can, spreads her winglets, and glides away. Just then, Mupsy Moral rolls into Portent Square, pen and pad grasping her thin claws. Did you see Blistery coming through here? I want to make sure everyone knows the truth. Mupsy bought it. Yes, Blistery's overjoyed. The spine doctor is treating two injured monsters in Portent Square. She breaks off her own quills and uses them like sewing needles. A little iron pot boils over a small fire, but it's just water. The doctor seems to have run out of something. The doctor cleans the wounds and draws loops of thin twine from her pouch. Breaking off one of her spines, she uses it like a needle to sew shut the largest cuts. Nope, she sings wordlessly during the procedure, applying a gentle touch whenever a patient stirs. The attention, the kindness, seems as important as the actual treatment. You sit with Nash Nash and Gobclaws on a tattered red blanket, eating cookies and talking about artifacts. Gobclaws sighs. I really like artifacts. I want a nice big collection, but it seems like I can never find any good ones. You and Nash Nash exchange glances. Nash Nash runs a claw along the handlebars of her little scooter. You both know some good spots. Gobclaws mopes around for a while, then wanders off. Later on, you and Nash walk into Omen with a few new trinkets. Of course not. She doesn't regain her usual optimism for some time. You overhear other monsters denigrating her for her lack of success. Monsters are gathering around the skull pole. They invite you to dance with them. You observe the solemn dance for a while. Each monster bows to every skull while circling with quiet dignity, then they end with a great howl. I'm out, so I am gonna have to go explore. That's not good. You find a red hood in a basket in the middle of the forest path. A human house is nearby. Funny, you never noticed it before. There's a white picket fence out front. As you slink away, Blotz pokes his head over the fence and waves to you. He shouts, "We found a wolf here full of rocks. Weird stuff. Hey, you're not afraid, are you?" Wild chickens are back in season, as delicious as they are mean. They're loose within the whale nest, and the monsters are all hunting them down. You mope in your hovel all day. When the others return to Omen, they're laughing and patting each other on the back. A cloud of bloody feathers trails behind the happy monsters. Nobody checks in on you. Alright, our last day. A squirrel hops into a pool of sunlight, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to bury nuts and make something of itself. You drop on it from a branch, grab it, and twist its head off. A young wolf suddenly leaps in front of you, snaps the squirrel out of your claws, and runs off, laughing and barking. She must be multilingual. Plus, it looks like she's faster than you. You run into the underbrush, slashing and tearing at the binding vines and leaves, but soon lose the wolf's trail. As you stagger home, you notice that wolf poop has been left along the trail. You know without a doubt who left it there. As you approach your hovel, Blistery helpfully points out that you stepped in some of the wolf poop. You're a laughingstock. You're growing old, my friend. Your body is very soft and you drip slime everywhere you go. It's getting hard to leave your hovel. It's your time and you know it. Unless you've lived well, your body will return to the slime from which it came. But if you have done well, your fellow monsters will test you and donate blood to a portentous infusion. A group of elders is waiting at the door of your hovel. They've seen your drippings. They know it's time for you to dissolve or ascend. Hemorrhag says, "All right then, we'll see you tonight." All the elders turn to go. You sit in your hovel contemplating the coming change. The elders will be back soon. You stop running just outside of town, gasping. What are you going to do? Every whooshing breath turns into a gurgle as your softening lungs fill with slime. You leave your home behind without so much as a backward glance. They'll never catch you now. You swiftly become a legend in the dark. Other monsters come to hunt you. You're riling up the humans. When you finally dissolve, it's within a human farm, with horses and pigs and cabbages and carrots and even a small cow. Oh, the end. End of Elderhood. Here's how you did. I was fairly bright, somewhat honest, kind, not too well respected, and not brave or ferocious at all. Over the years, the elements that made up your body find their way into myriad plants, animals, other monsters, and even humans. Monsters are magical, so in a very real sense, they are now, in part, you. Alright, well folks, we're going to wrap up the Monster Loves You series here. There's a lot of repetition, so we're not going to continue playing with other generations. There are other endings, but to get to them, we have to basically play through the same scenarios over and over. and just choose different options. So, the next time around, we will be starting a brand new series. If you enjoyed Monster Loves You and want to see more content on my channel, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.